just live. So, and we are live. Dawn here with Romance Happy Hour. I am, of course, joined by the always amazing Dylann Crush. How are you, Dylann?
I'm feeling not quite so amazing tonight, Dawn, but thanks
Why?
for calling me that. It's just been a week. Has anybody
Really?
else had just a week? I don't know if it was the full moon. I don't know. It's been a week. It's been a week. But
yeah.
And we're getting more snow. Like we're getting 4 inches of snow tonight,
Yeah.
and we're supposed to get more snow on Saturday. And I feel like I'm kind of over winter.
Yeah.
I'm just done.
I was just saying that today several times to everybody because in Montana here, we're supposed to have snow at least until March 15th. And usually by now it's like starting to warm up and melt.
Mhm.
And so yes, I am actually done with it. The grizzly bears also are done with it, and they're starting to come out even though there's still snow on the ground.
Mhm.
And so everybody's just like, okay, Mother Nature, get over this. We're done.
Right.
Yeah, even
I'm
the
a little
bears.
scared of what happens when the grizzly bears come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. They wake
Yeah.
up.
They just
They wake up and they're hungry.
When they come to your house?
No, not my house. That was in Yellowstone. They actually had their first grizzly bear out eating a carcass. I mean, this is a great romance happy hour conversation. But
pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, a couple weeks ago, there was a grizzly bear and a cougar that got sighted. The grizzly bear was obviously a little bit more in the wild, but the cougar was in the city. So,
wow.
And it wasn't like a hot older woman cougar either. It was the real deal.
Right, that grizzly bear cougar, I'm pretty sure that, like, Renee Rose wrote that, didn't she?
Probably.
That's
Maybe.
cocaine cougar.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, my husband wants to watch that cocaine bear or whatever.
Cocaine cougar's got to be next.
Yeah, right? Yeah, for sure. Well, so we've been chatting with these ladies for a couple minutes, but let us introduce you. Tonight we have Lisa Daly and Karen Gray with us. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Yay.
Great. Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited.
Well,
I'm excited to be here, especially because I got to actually meet Dylann and Lisa in person this fall. So it's like, I feel like it's like a little reunion.
I know, right? It's nice.
And I was on Romance Happy Hour about a year ago, so it's like another reunion.
Yes. We're very excited.
I like this setting better because we met in Houston during the World Series, and it was kind of a hot mess, if you'll recall, just trying to get to the hotel and trying to get out of the hotel.
Right.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy. We had to call our Ubers like 8 hours in advance.
Oh my gosh.
And even then they couldn't get to us. Yeah, it was bad.
Oh man. You know what? I'm sorry I didn't still live there. I would have just come and been your Uber.
Well, it was we did a little post-conference thing after the Romance Author Mastermind conference in Houston in November. And so we were there. They won the World Series Saturday night. And so we were all at the hotel where one of the teams was staying, and it was
and then there was a parade.
Central.
Right, a parade with like, I don't know, 1 million people.
And surrounding us was the parade. That was the problem.
Yes. So it was an interesting time.
Texas doesn't ever do anything normal.
No,
or small. Yeah, everything's big in Texas, right? So
that's right.
They have to go all out. Well, Dylann, what are you working on?
What am I working on? I had a book release this week. March is for Miles released. It's the 3rd book in our Mountain Men of Mustang Mountain series that I'm doing with Eve London and Casey Rose. So that was fun. Our Kickstarter closed. We did a Kickstarter campaign that closed on Friday. So now I'm in the middle of, we're sending out the surveys and getting everything back. And then now we have to order all the stuff. So we need to order paperbacks and we're sending out Mountain Man swag boxes and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, so I'm excited about that.
So fun.
I was actually telling somebody about it today. Heather, she's like a big fan of yours, Dylan, and then she
Oh, your
also like
friend. Yep.
yes. And I was like, "Have you read the Dylan and Eve and Casey Rose's Mountain Man series?" And she's like, "No." So we talked about it. Like we talked about it for a little while, and yeah.
It's
Is it
lots
too
of fun.
late to get in on the Kickstarter if she wanted to?
It's over.
Oh.
But so the series, the premise of the series, these are mountain men who live in Mustang Mountain, and a new book comes out at the beginning of every single month. And so this was our like winter into spring Kickstarter with all the books and everything. So we're planning on, because there are, 9 more books coming. So we're planning on doing a spring into summer and a summer into fall Kickstarter as well. So
Wow, it sounds like you're really busy this year.
there will be ample opportunity. Yes. And then I leave in a couple weeks to go to Readers Take Denver. But I'm not going as
Oh.
me. I'm going as Bookbox Babe. They were sold out of author
Oh.
tables. So I'm going as a vendor. So it's going to be interesting to see things from
From a
that
different
side.
Yeah. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, like totally text us all. I mean, you got to keep me updated. I want to know how that goes for you as a vet. That's pretty exciting.
It should be fun.
Yeah.
And I'm taking my 17-year-old with me because she's on spring break and she's a junior and she wants to look at some colleges in Colorado. So I said,
Oh.
perfect
Oh, that's
timing.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so I'll have a helper. Although
I
she has
was gonna
not really seen me at book conferences before, so it'll be interesting for her to kind of be, exposed to
yeah.
a big reader event like that. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, kids make the best assistants. Like,
They do.
totally. Yeah.
That
We'll
where it's
see.
like scared straight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my daughter, she was my assistant in New York City when I did the book signing there,
that's right.
and she was amazing. Ever since then, though, I mean, she's been a little less than, but when like in public, when people are looking at her as my assistant, like she's totally like rock star level assistant. Even like, Mom, don't smile like that. Smile like this. You know?
Oh,
Don't
I
show
love
your
that.
teeth. Don't show your teeth or your
That's
crazy
just
eyes.
what I
Come out
need.
with it.
Don't
Yep.
show your teeth or your crazy eyes. Now who's a grizzly? That
That's
is
just what I need.
that is hilarious. My kids have been like stuffing press kits and like running credit cards at back of the room sales since they were like toddler. Like literally,
Yeah.
I remember sitting with my son when he was 2 years old, and he had like one job, which is to put the one postcard in the press kit, and he loved it. He was very
Oh.
efficient. Yeah, yeah. So we haven't. My daughter like pretty much went all the way through high school without having to do any back of the room book events for me, but because of COVID. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm sure she's ready to go back to work.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep.
And Brenda Novak, her daughter, Alexa,
Mhm.
is like big
Yep.
helping her. And I want to have that. I really do. But my daughter's like too focused on now. She's a junior. And so she's focused on college. She wants to be a
Yeah,
doctor. So she's like, Mom, I don't have time for you anymore. So
right. She'll
I
circle.
don't think that
She'll circle back. It'll be
we'll
okay.
see. Well, hopefully. Well, I mean, for her sake, hopefully she becomes a doctor. But
Well, and it's really fun when your kids. So my oldest is home for spring break right now and recently took a job doing social media for a company. And I was like, huh. So all those times I asked if you wanted to help me with social media, but you didn't. And now, you're willing to help someone else. And yeah.
well, you
So
could be that needy mom. I
it's
love my
interesting.
mother. I love my mother, but she's always like, "Can you do this for me?" So, but now, like, your daughter has some social media background. You can be like,
Right.
"Oh, I don't know how to figure this out. Can you do it for me?"
Oh,
And it's just
no, I always
payback.
knew how to do it.
No,
And
I
I was
know.
like,
I
hey, they just
know.
never had time for me and weren't interested. But, things
Well,
change. So,
that's my point. You know how to do it, but you don't have to
right.
let her know that you know how to do it.
Oh,
You could just be
yeah,
like,
I'm not sure that would fly.
play the
Yeah.
dumb mom card. Yeah.
The best I
But,
got from one of my kids was an explanation on how to organize my Excel spreadsheet,
Oh.
see, my
which was
husband
very
for that.
useful, but that I don't get anything else.
Yeah.
I guess I might be the odd man out because I still don't know much about Excel.
I
Like
do
I
love
could
Excel.
use your daughter. I could use her.
Yeah.
So, Dawn, what have you been writing? What have you been working on?
So I am working on a book called Rescued by Mr. November.
Oh,
And yes, it's a firefighter series, but I'm sitting there all day long today. So quick little week long backstory. I quit my day job today or last week, and now I'm going to be just real estate and writing because my brokerage kind of disintegrated in the area. So I joined Engel and Volkers, and they're a luxury real estate
nice.
office. So I'm going to be going to work there, and it's great. They have an office I can go, and when I'm not doing real estate, I can write without like uninterrupted, like
Well, that's
there
nice.
just while I'm waiting for clients to walk in. So I'm very excited about that. And so I'm working on Mr. November because my current job said basically don't do any work, just sit at your desk for the next 2 weeks. So I'm like, sweet.
That's quite a gig for an
Yeah.
author. That's pretty nice.
I'm like, I
deal.
can do this. I can do this. But I'm like stuck because it's a firefighter series. And so yeah, I have a little bit of plotting to do, but I'm working on that one, and I think it's coming along. I kind of chatted it out a little bit today with my desk mate. So
I have always had like a thing for firefighters, I will tell you,
yeah.
because when I was a kid, I was like just about to start kindergarten. We had a fire in our garage. We just moved into a new house, and it was one of those like, pesticides spilled into paint thinner or some,
Oh
kind of
no.
right.
Ooh,
And the
yikes.
garage exploded.
Oh, geez.
And I was in the
Jeez.
like family room right next to the garage. But because it was a brand new house, the insulation was excellent. And so the door like blew open during the fire, and then my mom came down and got me and took me outside, and but the house was fine, only the garage burned down, even though the garage was
Wow.
attached. But there was a very hunky firefighter who came to the fire and carried me over across the yard. And then a few
Ooh.
weeks later at my new kindergarten class, he
Oh.
and another firefighter came to speak to the class. And I was like, oh, and he remembered me because it just happened like a couple weeks earlier. And that was it. That was it for me. And I think those early experiences can really like have such an impact on you.
Yeah.
Because my brother actually became a firefighter after that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
cool.
he was a like 3 at the time, but grew up to become a firefighter. Yeah, so it's funny that I just drooled over them, and he actually went out and became one. So anyway, still to this day,
You
firefighters.
were kind of young to be noticing a hunky firefighter.
I was gonna say, I thought you were at least in high school.
No, I was like, no, I mean, like, no, I think I was boy
He was a
crazy. Like,
hero. He saved
right.
you.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like well, that's what I call a hero crush. Like a
Right.
lot of like my husband was a drill instructor, so a lot I would say every time one of the little recruits got a crush on him, I just called it a hero crush. I'm like, oh, that's okay. I don't care about the hero crush.
Right.
Like it's a real thing, a hero crush.
Yeah.
But I for your sake, I was hoping you were in high school, but I mean,
I
still.
was young. No one was injured. I lost no toys
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
incident.
that's good.
Yeah, and he was just I literally still remember he had these like blue eyes underneath his helmet. Blue eye. And he was so nice to me. I mean, they gave me like I don't remember what it was, a teddy bear, I think. But like they were so nice. And clearly they picked, like I knew later when my brother became a firefighter that they picked the nice ones to go to the schools. So right. So the fact that the really nice firefighter was also the same guy that showed up at my elementary school is probably not like the mysterious intervention of true love that I was hoping it was when I was in kindergarten. But I think I always was a little bit boy crazy when I was little.
Yeah.
Right. Just like the romance of it.
Mhm.
And that's actually kind of how I got my start as a writer, not not with firefighters, but was when I was in the 3rd grade. We had this very hunky science teacher, brand new science teacher, like fresh out of college, very hunky science teacher named Mr. Gemeinhart. And every day I would write these stories about Mr. Gemeinhart only giving the girls ice cream, but not the boys, and riding up on a white horse and all this stuff. I'd write these little stories every day, and I would read them to my classmates underneath, like the other girls in the class, underneath the slide at recess every day. And that was sort of like my entree into romance writing. And I had like, the first was just like my couple girlfriends, and then like they'd be like, oh, can Susie come? And then suddenly we had like
your audience
right.
early.
I know. I had like 15 girls sitting underneath the plate, like the slide thing, the little
Word of mouth.
playground. I know, right? Listening to the tales of Mr. Gemeinhart. So
that is funny.
I know, right?
I mean, it's too bad you didn't know about the marketing aspect of being a writer at that time, because you could have yourself such a reader group right now.
Right.
Like
your mailing list in
a whole
3rd grade.
lifetime's worth.
Man.
I will let you read this story of Mr. Gemeinhart for free if you'll just give me your email address. Yes. Yes. If
Well,
only
I
I'd thought of
mean,
that.
I mean, now I feel like you actually have to write like a Mr. Gemeinhart
A
story.
little Mr.
And his
Gemeinhart
last
story.
name is
Yeah.
Hart. I mean, the half of it is Hart, right?
That's
Gemeinhart.
true.
Yeah.
My heart is his name. Give my heart is his name.
Is that true?
I mean, that's what it sounds like. Give mine heart.
Gemeinhart. Right, it
Gemeinhart.
does.
Give
Oh my
Gemeinhart a
God.
chance.
The thing that you may steal that for your own book. It's funny. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, it was like the fact that I can still remember my 3rd grade science teacher's name, not even my primary teacher, whose name I do not remember, or the teacher who in the same class taught me how to speed read. I don't remember them. I remember the hunky guy. Yeah, I think I was doomed to become a romance writer from like day one.
Yeah.
Doomed or blessed, right? Yeah, one of the two.
Well,
So-
we are kind of getting late in the hour here. We got
We haven't heard from Karen yet. We need
Karen, I'm sorry.
do we need to meet Karen before we start in with the reading?
Yeah, Karen.
Karen?
Welcome back.
I can tell my fireman story because
Yes,
when
please.
I was a young mom, one of my other mommy group friends who had a boy who was obsessed with fire trucks and firemen, she had the brilliant idea that she should have his 3rd, I think it was like he was 3, maybe 4-year-old birthday party at the Venice, California fire station.
Nice.
Which is where we lived near there, and she lived in Santa Monica and I was in West LA. And but I swear you have to pass some sort of looks test to be a Venice, California fireman. And the kids were interested for about 5 minutes, and the
moms, I bet,
could not get us out of there. We got one of them to go down the pole.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
awesome.
gosh. That's
is
awesome. That is awesome. You know, the other thing, they can cook. They all have to cook for each other. They can cook. So they're hunky. They save people and they can cook.
Out. Oh my God. They were so cute.
Yeah.
And they know how to use a pole.
Yeah.
Right. Which can come in so handy.
Some of us go down the pole. I believe I just went down the pole myself.
That's funny.
I think that happened. Anyway,
liability issues. I'd be surprised if they'd let you touch any of those
California, but I swear they let us do it. I think they did not drive the truck or anything, but yeah,
well, that's good.
Well, not drive the truck.
Lines. They did draw some lines.
Yeah.
So I have a quick fireman story too, but it's not as cool as you guys'. So as a romance writer, I was going to a conference, and the table we were at our like luncheon, and outside the lunch was all lined up outside of the conference room, and it steamed up and it set off the fire alarms. So you have a romance writing conference. So romance authors are just flooding out in the hallway with all of these New Jersey firemen just like funneling in to their area because they're the ones that set off the fire alarm. And I kid you not, like none of them left. None of them went outside.
Not leaving the building.
None of them went and evacuated the building. They were just all like, "Oh my God, we did this. This is the best. A romance conference." And like the firemen are coming in and they were all hot. I mean, all of them because they're from Jersey, you know, they get. But yes, that's my story. And I think
Love that.
our viewers have heard that one before, but we are getting late on time. So we do need to hear from Lisa. Lisa is our first reader. She's going to, I'm going to pop her up here. Lisa, if you need to just like preface anything, just like let us know and then just kind of ease into it and take it away, lady.
All right. Thank you for having me. So I'm going to read a little bit from Single Minded, which is a fun rom-com that I did. And it's about a woman who marries her childhood sweetheart and finds out that after they've been married for several years, that he's gay. And so she has this realization that she's never dated a straight man in her entire life because they met in kindergarten. And so her girlfriends tell her that in order to meet the one, that she has to date the naughty nine, basically like every archetype you've ever heard of, before she meets the one, right? So you have, all of the sort of guys that you might think would be on that list. So that's where I'm starting. She's knocked out some of her naughty nine dates, and she's about to go on another one. At least my naughty nine is now down to a more manageable, terrifying threesome. The bad boy, the quarterback, the sexy foreign guy. Well, foursome, if you count the fish. It's too bad I can't count Ferret Guy and Dr. Dick Pick against my naughty nine, but apparently nobody truly needs to date a math teacher or an internet pervert before they find true love. I keep thinking if I stay busy, I won't be sitting around obsessing over my embarrassment about the fact that Nate hasn't called. Yet. It's not working. 2 days later, Michael finally comes through on his promise to introduce me to a quarterback. No sign or word on the soulmate he promised, but Dane Cooper is the injured first-string quarterback for the University of South Florida. He apparently broke his foot while being sacked by the East Carolina Pirates, which is why I've agreed to meet him at his house instead of a restaurant or bar. The cast makes driving difficult. Anyway, it's some sort of dinner party with his crew, which is, I guess, another way of saying his teammates. The drive to Tampa is about an hour, which gives me plenty of time to think about the insanity of going on a blind date arranged by my gay ex-husband with a 21-year-old college student and psych myself up for the evening. I need to check quarterback off my 99 list. So I put the fact that he's unbelievably young, not to mention Michael's idea of a good date for me, out of my head. As I pull into the parking lot of his apartment complex, something dawns on me for the first time. I wonder what's in it for him. A thing for older women, the hope that Michael will give him some airtime. I'm in no position to judge someone else's motives, being that I'm only here to satisfy some silly requirement on the naughty nine list. After climbing 2 flights of stairs, I've arrived at the door of 3K, Dane's apartment. Thumping hip hop seeps down from upstairs. There are pizza boxes and beer bottles on the stair landings. And the place has a sort of beigey, rundown burritos, old cigarettes, and vomit aura of every college apartment complex you've ever seen or lived in. And can't wait to escape the second you get your diploma. What in the hell am I doing here? I knock on the door and it takes Dane a good 30 seconds to answer. And I remember I saw a Waffle House on the side of I-75 on the way up here. And I'm fantasizing about drowning my dating sorrows in a double order of hash browns just as he finally opens the door. Another 10 seconds and I would have lost my nerve. Hey, he says, thanks for driving so far. Okay, good start. He's polite. Well, polite-ish. He's pretty tall, probably 6'4", with the strong, chiseled chest and arms of a guy who's been doing 2-a-days since he was about 5. He's wearing a USF t-shirt and baggy athletic shorts. So it's not a formal dinner party. I'm feeling a bit overdressed in my wrap dress and heels. Dane's hair is dirty blonde, and he's got that patchy starter beard of a teenager. He motions for me to come inside, grinning adorably. Nice teeth, great smile. He's wearing some kind of headset with the microphone pushed up like the kind coaches wear on the sidelines. He steps back from the door, and I notice the chunky blue cast on his left foot. No problem, I say. How's your foot? It sucks, but the painkillers are cool, he says, dragging his foot back to the couch. I follow him inside and close the door behind me. You look pretty hot, he says. Thanks, I say, feeling weirdly self conscious as I look around the room. Oh, God, he's so young. The apartment is heavy with the gaminess of testosterone laced with pot, decorated with liquor bottles and dirty laundry, and dark. Bent white blinds, drawn closed, cover the windows. He sits down on a brown and orange flowered velveteen sofa that predates him by a couple of decades and props his cast up on a dinged up coffee table with brass detail on the corners. I sit down at the far end of the sofa and check out the apartment. The furniture is mismatched, banged up, and solely functional. But he has a huge TV mounted to the wall, another gigantic TV perched on a stand on top of a black entertainment unit right below it, a massive sound system, and 3 different gaming systems. It's a virtual shrine to manly electronics. Are you a meat lover? He asks casually. He checks his phone and then sets it down on the coffee table next to another headset like the one he's wearing. What? I ask. Gross. What is this? Some kind of pervy frat boy come on? Pizza, he says. Are you okay with the meat lover, or do you want something else like cheese or veggie? Lots of girls like the veggie. I say, embarrassed. Anything's fine, thanks. He picks up his phone, calls in the pizza order. 2 pizzas, both covered in meat. He asks me if I want a beer. Sure, I say. This date will go easier with alcohol. He stands up and hobbles to the refrigerator, his cask clunking on the tile floor. He pulls out 2 bottles of beer, and now I feel guilty. I should have offered to get up. The poor guy has a broken foot, after all. He twists off the caps and hands one of the beers to me. He sinks back down into the sofa, grabbing a remote off the table. The TV's on, and a buff animated soldier loaded down with machine guns and grenades shifts back and forth on the screen. The soldier looks antsy, like he really needs a restroom or something. We're going to play Call of Duty Advanced Warfare with my clan, says Dane. Clan? I ask horrified. Like the clan? Nah, he says, that's effed up. We're playing with my clan, my crew, my boys. I must still look confused. My friends, he clarifies. I feel about 70 right now. Dane hands me a headset like the one he's wearing. Here you go. Put it on. I'm not really much of a video game player, I say, fiddling with the headset. That's okay, he says. We really just need a fill-in. We got a ranked match tonight, streaming on Twitch, and Maddie got carpal tunnel. The only 3 words I understand in that sentence were okay, really, and match. Oh, and carpal tunnel. What the hell is Dane talking about? Huh? I say eloquently. Just put it on, he says. It'll be cool. I'll help you out. We'll do all the work. We just needed another warm body so we didn't get disqualified. That sounds really important, I say, and I really don't want to mess it up for you. Actually, it sounds pretty ridiculous, but I'm keeping my mouth closed on that one. It's cool, he says. The clan we're playing tonight kind of sucks, so there's nothing to worry about. We've got this. I tentatively put on the headset as he powers up the other TV. You look cute, he says. Thanks, I say, feeling like I'm back in high school. First thing you need is a gamer tag, he said. What's that? Your screen name, he answers, looking at me expectantly. Mine is QB_SNIIP3R, he says. QB Sniper. He says it proudly as he selects it on the screen. No pressure, though. Yours doesn't have to be so cool. Lucky me, I laugh. He's staring at me, waiting for me to answer, and my mind blanks out, and I can't think of anything funny or witty. Actually, I can't seem to think of anything at all. It doesn't have to be perfect, he says. You can always change it after tonight if you don't like it. That's rich, because I'm ever going to need a gamer tag after tonight. Oh, I just saw you guys look like, sorry. Geez, I can't think of anything at all. Dane shifts in his seat, and he's clearly getting impatient. Sparkle Pony, I say. It's an inside joke with Michael, but it's the only thing I can think of. I'm terrible at remembering usernames, so Michael made everything from Netflix to our cell phone account Sparkle Pony, so I wouldn't forget. Dane rolls his eyes, but he looks amused. Okay, Sparkle Pony it is. He enters my username, picks a generic avatar, and then hands me the controller, explaining rapid fire how the thing is supposed to work. The stick is how you move your camera. If you click it, it'll do your melee attack or zoom. Right stick click is melee, so you can beat someone with your gun instead of shooting them right in the face. Left stick is move. If you can click, you can sprint. If you're in sniper mode, hold your breath. A is double jump to give yourself a little rocket boost. B is crouch. X is the critically important reload button. Y lets you switch your weapon. Left bumper is your exo ability. Right bumper is your lethal equipment. Left trigger is aim down the right. Right trigger is most important button of all. That's fire weapon. Those are the basics. The basics. He's practically speaking in tongues. Right button to fire is pretty much all I got out of that. And something about holding my breath. He points to the top of the TV screen. That's us. Death to Campers. A video feed of a video feed of Dane's face is on one side of the screen. The game is on in the center. He points to the other TV below. That's you. Death to Campers, I laugh. I mean, I hate camping as much as the next person, especially the sleeping outside part, but I don't wish a zombie apocalypse on them or anything. Dane responds without taking his eyes off the top screen. Not that kind of camping. Campers. They hide in one spot. They try to kill you. The game hasn't started yet, but comments start rolling on the right side of the screen, mostly in gibberish, except one. Sparkle Pony, what kind of lame brony name is that? Oh my God. Did you bring a chick? Did you bring a chick? Is she going to make us sandwiches at intermission? I'm hearing stereo, Dane next to me, and Dane through the headset. Be cool, you guys. You can't be talking about my special lady like that. Maddie's out with Carpal. We need a warm body. You want to cancel the stream tonight? Dane is defending my honor against these sexist little monkeys, which is kind of sweet, except he did do it by calling somebody a D-bag, which is pretty awful. I've only been here 10 minutes, and it already feels like the longest date of my life. Shut up and play. Just ignore them. They're just a bunch of immature jerks. Ready? Ready or not, I say. Just stick with me. The action starts and it does not go well. It looks like we're in a jungle or something, but full of sand and overturned trucks and bombed out buildings. And all I can see is the end of the gun my character is carrying. In the headset, all the guys are talking to each other, talking smack, telling each other what to do, swearing up a storm, which makes it even harder to remember which buttons to push to make myself move or shoot. And at first, I can't figure out how to move my character at all. And then once I do, I just keep running around trying to follow Dane's character, which isn't as easy as it sounds. Fire, fire, yells Dane, looking directly at me. I indiscriminately mash a bunch of buttons, unsure of which one is supposed to fire my weapon. Suddenly, a grenade goes off, taking out our entire team. I can't even see who fired it. What the F, Dane? Yells somebody in the headset. Dane starts swearing and the first round is over. You're not supposed to take out your own guys, he says to me tersely. Wait, was that me? Yeah, that was you. Just be more careful, he says. Sorry, guys, I say into the microphone. Sorry, my bad. For the first time in the game, everyone is silent. The next round isn't any better. I'm stuck in a corner and I can't seem to make my way out. We're inside and I keep going around and around in what looks like an endless room with no doors and no windows. And I'm starting to feel dizzy. Get out of there, yells Dane. There's no door, I say. I'm trapped. I think I'm trapped in a circular room. There's no way out. And then boom, I'm dead. This time it only took me about 15 seconds to get myself killed, and the comment section goes wild. Dane stands up, dragging his cast and pointing to the upper TV screen, which shows his character's point of view. There's my character, crumpled in a heap, apparently trapped in a corner. No circular room, just a corner. Lots of rooms, at least 2 different doorways, and a bombed out wall. Not trapped. Look straight ahead, Dane admonishes me. If you look straight up at the ceiling, you can't see where the hell you're going. My untimely death is probably the best thing to happen to Death to Campers because without my help, they managed to blow up a bunch of stuff, kill a bunch of bad guys, and make some serious progress in completing their mission. I sit on the couch beside Dane while he plays, pretending like I'm interested. I'm trying to watch to see what he does so I won't get myself killed in like 3 seconds next time, but his fingers move with lightning speed on the controller. There's a knock on the door. Will you get that, babe? Dane asks, never taking his eyes off the screen or his hands off the controller. I stand up and answer the door, pizza delivery. Dane is engrossed in the game, so I take $40 out of my purse and pay the guy. He looks thrilled at the $10 tip. Clearly, he's used to delivering to college students. I bring the pizzas over to the coffee table and set down the boxes. I search the kitchen for plates and napkins, but come up short. I probably have wet wipes in my purse, but it feels weird, the idea of whipping them out. Thanks, says Dane, still glued to the screen. I sit there watching him, smelling the pizza for another 20 minutes until Dane's character gets killed. He pushes open the box and grabs a slice. Do you have napkins or paper towels? I ask. Nah, he responds, licking some sauce off his fingers. He's watching the action on screen and he swears as the rest of his team gets killed off a second time. The final round goes a bit better. Dane shows me once again how to make my character run and jump and change direction and suggests that I avoid shooting or bombing anyone for the safety of the team. This is the best idea I've heard all night. Just stick behind me. Don't worry about doing anything else, he says. Okay, I agree. trying not to let myself read the mean stuff people are saying about me in the comments section. Who knew people could be so cruel with just punctuation marks and emoticons? Eyes straight ahead, he says, making a weird signal with his hands like he's special ops or something, and not just some gamer guy sitting on a dead relative's horrid couch. Eyes straight ahead, I repeat, following closely behind Dane. The herky-jerky movement of the game is starting to make me feel seasick, but I keep trotting behind him like we really are saving the world from evildoers. Dane and the other guys on our team, Gorilla Braid and Iron Holy Sin, are clustered together behind a wall of rubble when we're suddenly surprise attacked by snipers. Run, yells Dane, and I take off backwards. The three of them are shooting and swearing, and I keep scrambling along the side of a long building, trying not to look up. Two things happen almost simultaneously at the end of the building. I suddenly find myself face to face with one of the bad guys. Dane, Gorilla Blade, and Iron Holy Sin are screaming something about a bomb carrier, and then all three of them are wiped out in rapid succession by the sniper. Jesus, you've got him at point blank range, screeches one of the voices in the headset. We've got him. We've got him. Shoot him, Dane yells at me. The guy right in front of you. Kill him, and we win. I look down at the controller, trying to remember what to do. Shoot him, says Dane, as I aim my weapon and mash the fire button. A spray of bullets peppers the sky, and 2 seconds later, the bomb goes off and I'm dead. A string of expletive burns through my headset, and over on the other end of the couch, Dane's head is in his hands. I'm really sorry, I say. He looks crestfallen. We sit there in silence for a few seconds, and then he reaches over and pulls the controller from my hands. I don't think this is going to work out, he says. That's it. Okay. That was a dramatic reading.
Very fun. I could picture that, having tried to play video games with my children and been, relieved of my duties.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you guys that the circular room thing happened to me when I was playing with my kids. Like, my son wanted me to play this game, and I'm like, I can't get out. And he was like, he's like, look, this is you. And I'm like, shit. So anyway, yes. Thank you.
Very cute.
Thank you. That was from Single Minded, which is kind of fun. Oh, you can probably see it better on my back wall. But anyway, this is it. Single Minded. And the book I'm giving away today is this one, 15 Minutes of Shame.
I was going to say, you had to have done some definite research for that. I mean, I would not have been able.
You know what? Gosh. I had a lot of help because I am not a gamer. Mm-hmm. And I did. But also a lot of it was like watching my son or my significant other like play and all the stuff that they were saying and doing, and so it was.
So you're basically sitting on the couch, mm-hmm. and they're playing their game, and you're just literally typing what they're saying.
Yes.
So that's like the easiest book.
I know, right? Yeah, it gets really easy. Anyway, it's kind of it's fun. I was debating on whether, like, I really struggled tonight to find a scene that was like going to be like 10 minutes.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
It was a lot of fun.
I'm so glad.
And we did have a couple questions, actually. I'm going to pull up a couple, and then we're going to make sure that we have time for Karen to read. And so we'll save most of them for after. But there was one in here. I'm scrolling. That was specific about this book, and it was from Deanna. Deanna wants to know, do you go into how she copes with finding out her ex is gay, and how does she feel about him setting her up?
So, I go a lot into how she feels. And in fact, the book was Single Minded was St. Martin's title. And I went a lot into it in my first draft, and I'd sent it off to my agent, and she was like, this is a romantic comedy and it is not funny until page 63. So she's like, you need to work through that stuff because I feel like, this is a woman who's been betrayed. And also a lot of times when people come out of the closet, like, we're really proud of them for doing that. It can be challenging. They have a lot that they're risking, but if you're talking about someone that you've been friends with, or, you know, that you've been childhood sweethearts, you've known each other since kindergarten, you're best friends, and they've been keeping this big part of their life from you the whole time, even if they have really good reasons, you're still hurt and you still feel betrayed. And so I did spend a lot of time, you know, sort of exploring how that would feel, and what it would feel from her perspective, and also how it would feel to like have to like be supportive publicly while feeling really betrayed privately. But I also wanted to sort of move through a lot of that processing, because again, it is a romantic comedy and I wanted to get to the kissing part. And it wasn't with Michael, because, well, I mean, there was kissing for Michael, but not with her. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was
All
my,
right. Let me go back up, because there were a couple others. Well, I know Karen is here tonight. It has been forever since you've been here, Karen.
Yeah, Karen.
I know, and it looks like there's been lots of discussion in the comments. Linda is deferring to Karen for all the questions tonight, which seems like cheating, Linda.
I know.
But let's see. There was another one. We've got lots of comments going on. Here we go. What is the most difficult part of I can't even talk tonight. What is the most difficult part about writing for you?
Oh, so like I mostly love writing, but I should be taller. I mostly really love writing, but I was really struggling at the time, with like my daughter has an illness, and like some other kind of dramatic thing had happened to our family, and so that part of it was like trying to recapture the joy, which I still struggle with now. Like I before, it was just writing and being funny was just sort of as natural to me as breathing. And then after we had like several like really rough years, it became a lot harder. And then I was like, oh, is this still me? Like, am I funny? And so, yeah, so that would probably be the hardest part, is trying to be funny on days when you do not feel funny at all, would be my challenge. So yeah.
I feel like I feel you right now, because I'm like, I'm there at this point, and it's not like a lot of stuff has happened, but just life in general. So,
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of people had, I mean, originally, like I really struggled during the pandemic. Like I just could not be funny. And I abandoned a project that I was really excited about. Like, I'm going to put this aside until later. And my whole decision to write my hockey romance was like, okay, I'll just write this contemporary romance series and it won't have to be funny. And so that'll take the pressure off me. So then what happens after I decide to write the hockey romance series without being funny was that, of course, it was funny. Like once I took the pressure off myself, it was just, it ended up being funny anyway. So I'm glad about that. Because rom-coms are my favorite. I love rom-coms.
Yeah. So how about you, Karen? What is the hardest part of writing, or the most difficult part of writing for you?
For me, starting is like, when I was an audiobook narrator, I hated starting a book. I hated it. And oftentimes I would record the whole first chapter and then stop and then start over. And so when you know that's going to happen, it's hard to start. And it's the same with me. Like the book I'm working on right now, I wrote this prologue, which was like the first time the characters met, and it went on and on and on, and it wasn't right. You know, it was just like not what was. So I just had to throw it all out. And it's just the anticipation of that, of writing stuff that you know you're gonna have to get rid of, which is hard. So for me, it's like once I get to a certain point, then it feels like it's downhill.
Yeah.
So it's starting.
I love starting.
I love starting too. Isn't
Middles.
that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's funny because I have a short novella that came out in December, but it was in an anthology, and it's about two writing partners on a TV show. And I stole this completely from an interview of the person who wrote on the real show that I was referring to. And these writing partners, one of them liked to write the beginning and to wrap up, and the other one liked what they call the messy middle. And it made them like perfect. writing partners. And so
That's what I need. Maybe we should partner,
Yeah.
Darren. I'll write the
I know,
beginning and
yeah,
the
we
end. You can write the
together, I do
middle.
the
It'd be
middle.
awesome.
Yeah.
My favorite parts. It'd be great.
I also like editing. Isn't that weird? I love
Yes.
editing.
Oh,
I
Karen,
I hate
love
that.
I sort of
editing.
dig that too, actually.
I gotta say, Karen, we've had you on the show twice, so you know we love you. But yes, that is very weird that you love you love editing because
a lot of
I
people
am just like,
do.
I know.
I do. I love editing too. Like I really love the wordsmithing after,
Yeah.
right? You're done with the book. Now you're just making it better and funnier and
But
more
I also love when I get to
tizzy.
that point, I'm like, oh, I wrote this. I don't remember writing this at all. This is kind of good. When you get to that, like, yeah, I like that part.
Yeah, I
But
don't
at
like
this
the
point, like,
wordsmithing later. I'm more of a can somebody else wordsmith this for me? But nobody will, so I have to do it myself kind of
yeah.
person.
I
Right.
mean, I cannot do the commas, and then but
Yeah.
the poor proofreader has to deal with the commas. But how it sounds, how
Right.
it reads, that's good. That's
Yeah.
I like that part.
Well, with that, shall we listen to Miss Karen?
Yes.
Hang
I was
on.
going to say
I
we have
got a short one. I got a short little bit. So
many other questions, but we'll save them until after. So
Okay. All
So
right.
this book is number 2 in my Carolina Classics series, which is my second series. And this whole series takes place in the 90s and is about people who work behind the scenes for the most part in film and TV. So I'm going to read chapter 2 of Hold On to Me, which actually came out in audio today. And if you wanted to get the audio, you can hear Mackenzie Cartwright read this section, which I get. I'm sure she does way better than me. But so this is a reverse age gap, reverse boss assistant romance. And so I'm going to read you Helen's point of view. And this is our introduction to her. And this is 1998 in Beverly Hills, California. Helen. I thought I was ready to face the consequences of my transgression, but when I settle into the chair, Rain's deep groan is laced with anguish. I can't believe you'd do this to me. Cheat on me. Again. I know, what can I say? I have no self-control. A palm rises in the space between us. Talk to the hand, darling. Talk to the hand. I take that hand and give it a tentative squeeze. Do you forgive me? A return squeeze gives me hope, but the disgusted grunt that follows has me on tenterhooks again. I can't live without Rain, but when you're on the road, you have to do what you have to do. It's just that Rain whips the chair around and her hands grip its arms, flanking me. Dark brown irises, ringing huge pupils, sweep over my face. Next time you have the urge, call me first. You can't know how much it hurts me when you stray, honey. I nod, hopeful that we can move on from this. Believe me, it's worse for me. It just gets to the point where I can't hold back. I'm away from home and you just go and let any old woman. Well, it was a man this time. There's a long pause, and I hold my breath as Rain turns away. After what seems like an eon, sure hands snap the shiny black cape into the air. As it settles over me, I can finally breathe again. I'll do my best. We're doing color today, too, I assume. If you think, oh, I think. That's it.
That was short.
Well, it's just the setup of
Yeah.
Helen
You're
and
just teasing us.
Yeah, her tricky relationship with her hairdresser, which, as we know, is an emotional connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like cheating. You do feel like you're cheating when you go to someone else if you've been seeing someone for a while. So
Yeah.
that's very clever, very fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So let
Well
me see.
done.
Yeah, I'm on. I got questions.
Yeah.
Questions. They're mainly by Karen tonight. So, although I see one from Teresa coming up. So, yay. If you could invite one person to dinner, who would it be and what would you cook? Here, I'll leave that up there actually so that you can see it. So,
Anyone? Are they dead or alive, or they have to be alive?
I think it could be anyone. There's no,
All right.
yeah, she
All right.
doesn't
Well,
specify.
I would invite Nora Ephron, who I love,
Mm.
and I would cook my penne arrabbiata because I know she loves pasta, and it is one of my favorite things to make.
Oh, can I come?
Of course. If Nora's coming, it's going to be a party. So yes, you're invited.
I'll bring the wine.
Great.
How about you, Karen? Who would you invite?
I guess Nora Ephron is no longer with us either. So I think mine would have to be Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh, yes.
She is my hero. But I would make my husband cook because he's a much better cook than me. As is her husband. So, it kind of works out that way. And he would make something wonderful in Italian, or maybe some fish, grill some fish. He's good at that.
All right. I'm going to skip. Karen has quite a few here. I'm going to skip down and give somebody else a chance here. Where'd that one go? Oh, Teresa. Okay, here we go. Which of your books is your favorite?
Gotta pick a baby.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
go ahead.
This is actually becoming my new favorite, but I think my favorite is my book You Spin Me, which came out about a year ago. Partly because we had such a good time doing the audiobook. I have a really great editor, and I like to do little sound effects at the beginning of every chapter. And You Spin Me is about a dancer, an ex-dancer / actress, aging actress at the age of 30, and a radio DJ. And so, there was no way I could afford to have the rights to play music, but it's about a radio station. So my editor and I had the best time sort of creating these little clips at the beginning that sounded like those in-between things that happened between the songs, little comedy things, and sometimes just the weather or the traffic, without a single bit of music, but it feels like you're still listening to the radio. So that and it's also it takes you on a good emotional journey while still having a lot of funny bits. So I feel like that's my fave.
I love that. I think that the book I'm working on right now, Cutting Edge, which is my first in the hockey romance series, is quickly becoming my new favorite. But I will say actually that Single Minded is my favorite. And I think it's because it was so rough to write. I was on contract for it with St. Martin's. Right as, like I said, we had a fairly dramatic trauma happen in our family. And I was under contract and I have to produce this book. And you know how it is, like you're trying to write and everything's falling around you. And you're like, yeah, I feel like, what's her name? My character in The Rubble. And so it ended up like being it was such a struggle. But then through that, I ended up like really creating a book that I felt super proud of. Like it was so hard. It was way harder than the other ones. But the end of it, I think like the struggle was worth it. So
yeah, those ones that are hard are always the ones that are well worth the effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite, Dawn?
I love my Hard to Love series because I think that Hard to Love, the book, the first one, represents my husband the most. And so that's why I like that one the most, I think.
Yeah. That's a good one.
What about you?
I don't know. I feel like my favorite book is always the one that I've just finished because, it's the closest. But I don't know. Whenever people ask me that, I normally default to Sweet Tea and Second Chances just because I feel like that has the most of me in it because it's based on my grandparents' house where I used to go and spend summers, and so I got to write about a real place that was special to
Yeah.
me. So
I
even
am
though there was no, like boy next door that I visited every summer and fell in love with and all that, and yeah, I mean that part is all made up, but it could have happened to somebody.
It could have happened. It
So
could
it's
have
the
happened.
most of you. I think that's what makes it like for us anyways, you and I, like I think the books that mean the most to us are the ones that represent us the most.
I
Maybe.
Yeah, I think there's something so true with that. I think the other reason I love Single Minded is, how I told you, like, I had my first terrible, depressing draft that I sent to my agent where she was like, this is a romantic comedy. It is not romantic until page 60, and it is not funny. Well, Darby, or not Darby, Alex, the character in the book, is getting, she's getting a divorce, and then she's falling in love later. And what I think the other thing that makes this book so special to me is that I too had gotten a divorce and was falling in love at the same time my character was falling in love. And so, like, that I think is also the thing that makes it, which I hadn't really thought of until you said that, but I'm like, oh, I know why. It's because I was like moony over Michael. So yeah.
Yeah.
Episodes of Romance Happy Hour are just like a good hour of therapy.
I mean, yeah. Right?
Okay. We're no, we are not.
No, but we are. I mean, writing to me is therapy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
No,
then I'm getting super like little spurts of that lately. So Romance Happy Hour is my therapy right now because all things book. And I feel like readers too, when I'm a reader, I'm reading for therapy purposes. I want to disappear. I want to kind of like recharge and have that therapy and just be able to get back to basics. And I don't know if that's the true for everybody else, but for
Oh, I
me,
think, yeah, I mean, catharsis, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
That
very.
we seek out. Well, I think the thing is what people want is for the character to go through it. And
right.
you can do it
So
on
we
your
don't have
pace.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like playing the video game. You're dying and you're dying, but you're not really dying.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not into that, but guess I can see why people would be. But for me, it's like you get to go through falling in love and all that sort of stuff when you're already married and you're not gonna do that again, probably. Or
Right.
Yeah.
50% chance you're going to do that again.
yeah, well, I'm
There-
good. I don't know about you guys, but I'm good.
Right. And
Yeah.
the other thing is your brain can't tell the difference between those experiences that are real and those that are
Right.
vividly imagined. And so it is real.
Yeah.
You are experiencing those serotonin boosts and oxytocin boosts that we get when we are actually falling in love with a real person and not an imaginary one. And you can do that from the safety of your couch without cheating on your wonderful husband. And that's awesome. And why wouldn't we
Right?
call that back over and over and over again? Right?
So, real quick, now this is making me think of our t-shirt for the Romance Lovers t-shirt club this month says reading romance is cheaper than therapy.
Oh,
So
it is.
I did not expect to plug the shirt during the show tonight, but I feel like it's super relevant. So
Perfect.
Super relevant. Plug
all agree.
away. Plug away.
And
Get a
plus,
t-shirt.
these days there are many more romance novels available to you than therapists. So
That is so true.
And they're cheaper.
Way cheaper. Some of
Oh,
them
yeah.
are free.
especially
All
from the
right, let
library.
me see. I think we maybe have time for one more question. Let me see. Were there any down at the bottom? Sorry, I should have been scrolling when looking for the questions while we were talking, but I was too engrossed in our conversation. I think there was one more from Teresa. Okay, do you have any authors that are automatic reads? Give me one name of a one-click author for you.
Mia Sosa.
Oh, yeah. I like her books.
I can't do just one because I'm such a mood reader, but I got to tell you, when I really need comfort read, it's Kate Nolan. Kait.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's such a good comfort read.
Nice.
How about you, Dawn?
I would say Linda Leil Miller. I just love I
Mhm.
love to disappear into the past. And she's really great with historical westerns, and that's what I love.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I have a hard time with this one too, but I think if I am looking for like something that I absolutely know I will love no matter what, I normally will fall into an Abby Jimenez book.
Oh
So
yeah.
I can
Yes.
always I
Yeah.
can always count on her to bring all the feels, but also
I
make me
think
laugh.
my other one would be Jane Austen, but I think that's more of a
Mhm.
classic. Yeah. But
Right.
I love
Well, that's
her.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
such a great
It's a
touchstone though, right? To
classic.
just
Yeah. It depends on how I'm feeling, like you said, like,
Right.
it depends on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I feel Regency-ish, and sometimes I feel like cowboy. So, yeah.
Yep. Now that would be
And
a fun
Karen, go
mishmash
ahead,
if you did a Regency
cowboy.
Cowboys in the
Cowboy.
Regency
No, but
era.
it's been done, and I think it was actually done by a guy. I have to remember the book. I'm gonna have to remember the book. I'll bring it next time. But
All right.
I do have one male author in my bookshelf that did a Regency and Western.
Well, it's the same time period,
Interesting.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
and
just have the
he
cowboy go to
brought it
England,
all together. Yeah, no, the cowboy.
other way around.
Yep,
Mhm.
the Duke comes to America.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
fun.
Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it was great. And then I have to say, Karen, I don't know. I'm working on Steve. I'm working on him to come and read to us. I am. But the more he gets away from the military, the more he's just like, I'd rather, just relax.
Yeah, Dawn has been teasing everyone
I
that her husband
know.
was gonna come on our show now for 3.5 years.
Yeah, well,
So
I'm
someday,
working on it. I'm working on it. I am.
someday,
I'll
someday it
talk to
might
him.
happen. Well, we are all out of
Well,
time for tonight, but we want to make
yes.
sure that we remind everybody to head over to the Facebook page if you haven't already and enter to win. You want to tell everyone what you have up for grabs, Lisa and Karen?
Sure. Karen, you want to go first?
I am giving away audiobooks. I can't remember how many I said, but it's basically your choice of my audiobooks.
I
Very
think it was
nice.
2, if I remember.
Yeah.
Yep,
But
I think so.
we'll see.
I am going to give away a signed paperback of 50 Minutes of Shame, which I love.
All right, so we will keep that open through Sunday night to give everybody a chance to head over and enter. And
And
what else do you have for us, Dawn? Anything else?
nope, just I'll work on my husband and then we'll see what happens. So, and don't forget to join us. Wait, what are we on we're on the first Thursday, right? Yeah.
Yes. So March
So
23rd will be our next show.
yeah, the 23rd. Don't forget to join us then for another episode. And we will see you later.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks,
Thanks
Karen,
for
for being
having
with
us.
us
Thanks
tonight.
for
It was
having
lovely.
us.
So,